Hey guys, how's it going? It's Tristan, No Torque Garage, coming back again finally. So today we got a couple of projects going on.
Yeah, we got all the electronics, the buttons, and the signal relay that we got to do, and Tristan's going to be working on the back end.
Yeah, the rear brakes have a ton of play in them and barely stop the bike, so I'm going to be turning that, figuring out if they're worn out, just out of adjustment, or whatever that is. So,
Because in the last video, like you guys saw, we went ahead and got it running. Me and Brandon both took it for a ride. He got to go for a nice little rip up and down the road. I took it outside and went to use the back brake, and we didn't have nothing. So,
stopping's overrated. That's what a wall's for.
not on a customer's bike. Not typically on a customer's bike. Our bikes, yeah, it's fine. We can use the wall to stop it if we need to, but customers' bikes, usually they get mad. You gotta buy them a new bike, and it's just a headache.
But, we'll get to it and talk to you in a minute.
Yeah, he's back to help me out with this big pile of 1985 Honda Shadow.
And it's my first time putting eyes on her, and well, it could be worse.
Could be a lot worse.
It could be a lot.
Could be a lot better too.
But they did the hard part. They got it running.
Yeah,
Mostly.
we got it running for the most part. But today Tristan's gonna be tackling his own thing towards the back of the bike. But for me, I get to deal with this whole rat's nest of fuckery and shit. And I gotta figure out why his headlight's not working, because his headlight is not working, and nothing else is working. And he wants all this gone and moved and relocated and not looking up front, and wants just a bunch of stuff redone and did and looking a little bit better. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started tackling this thing, and I'm gonna make a game plan and figure out where we're at, and I'll get back to you.
I'm going to be tackling the rear brakes. You press them, no resistance, and they aren't working at all. So we're hoping it's just out of adjustment, something simple, but we're going to find out together. Let's figure it out. Can you take 2 seconds really quick? Hit that brake pedal.
The brake pedal?
Yep. There is brakes, they're just way out of adjustment.
Yeah, because when you're going down the road, they don't work.
That's what I'm saying, is they're just going to be way out of adjustment.
Oh, cool, it all goes into a big harness.
Awesome.
It looks like. Alright guys, so I don't know what I did, but I fixed it. I have a headlight now. Literally turned the key on and just started fucking with the dimmer switch that's up top. And I'm assuming that dimmer switch is corroded really bad, because if you wiggle the shit out of it, it comes on, and then every now and again it shuts off. So we're replacing the buttons and the bars today anyway. So at the end of the day, this should all work. I'm going to go ahead and put all this back together and get it ready to start tailoring the horn and moving the ignition coil and everything else. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put everything back together, and I'll be right back with you.
Alright, so we got the axle out, got the brake slid out a little bit, and there is enough shoe there, it shouldn't be an issue. I think it's just out of adjustment today. So we'll get her into adjustment and test her again. Well, it was simply just out of adjustment, because now we got it just tight enough it grinds. Maybe a little too tight, but it's just out. Good old Barraques. And the pedal only has 2 inches of throw instead of coming all the way down here. So, nice and simple fix for the rear brakes. On the 85 Shadow? Shadow, yeah. That thing.
Alright guys, so we're on hold for a little bit till the customer gets here. He wants all this relocated and made it look pretty, but the ignition coil is just not going to fit anywhere that's inside the range for the wiring. And I really don't want to disconnect all those wires and run them longer and put them somewhere else, because that's going to take a lot of time and a lot of wire, because there's 7 plugs in here that we'd have to rewire. So for right now, the headlight's on hold. We're going to go ahead and start putting the new bars on. He's got new bars, new buttons, new damn near everything on the front end, so hopefully it's going to look good after we're done. We're running into some slight tinkering issues, however, should be able to get it figured out. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and move on down the way. Come on down over here. We're going to go ahead and start working on the wiring and stuff. Making her look all nice and purty.
The best we can, anyway.
The best we can. You never know, it might look okay once we get going, but at this exact point in time, it's looking difficult. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and start tearing into the handlebar situation here and taking stuff apart, and we'll be right back with you as soon as we start making some headway. Alrighty guys, so we got the new bars on, just kind of getting a preview of how they look, got the new buttons on and everything. Now we actually have to wire in all the buttons and such, because the buttons that we're putting on are for a 1-inch Harley Sportster, and obviously this is not a Harley, but he really liked the buttons style that Harleys have with the turn signals on different sides and such. And with the old buttons and everything else, the buttons and everything were so corroded and nasty that nothing was working all that right on the inside of here, and there's a spider's nest in here and cobwebs and shit, so we're going to be rewiring. Here's the old harness that's on the bike and the new button harness here. So we just basically have to go through and figure out what button goes to where and what color goes to what, and start matching them and figuring out where they all go. But that's what we're just going to be starting to basically work on here, and this is going to take up most of our time doing. And then we have to do the signal dynamics relay that we did last time on Tristan's bike. We got one for this bike because of the turn signals and how stupid they are.
It has the same setup that the Yamaha did, so...
Yeah, this is basically going to have the exact same setup. The buttons, not the new bars, because these new bars are cool. His bars are...
It's a narrow bike with narrow bars.
Less cool. So we're going to go ahead and get started doing that and run wires down and figure out where they go. And just so we don't bore you guys to death, we're going to go ahead and just skip to either we find a problem or
we're done.
We're done with the wiring. And then we'll check in after, because unless you guys just want to sit here and watch me splice wires and hunt wires, but that's kind of boring. And save that 10-second interval push for somewhere else. So we'll be back in a couple minutes. Alrighty guys, so we made headway. We got the kill switch and starter switch and headlight switch and all the other fun stuff going in and working. But we needed to take a lunch break. We're getting irritable and need food. So on our way to go find some food. And then we'll be back and continue going on the bike, trying to get that shit done today. As much as we can, at least.
I'll say all we got left right now is turn signals and putting everything back together all clean and nice.
Yeah. So stay tuned for that, and hopefully we'll have it looking nice and done almost by the end, other than the parts that he had to go order again today. So we'll do that. Alright guys, well, we got all the buttons and all that fun stuff wired in. All these are wired in, they're all working so far. His side's working so far. Yeah, and then we got some hanging out for the new master cylinder that's going to be coming in. It's got to go into the little, you know, the doohickey-majiggy thingy right there, you know?
And this here's for the clutch side, for the safety switch on the clutch.
Yeah, but we have something a little bit more fun happening right now. So, good buddy that we're doing the bike for, he decided that he wanted some cool little turn signals, you know? So, the way he wants them mounted... doohickeys there. The way he wants them mounted right next to where he chopped off the frame, you know, but the holes are way too small for what the thread pitch is on there. So basically, he's got to holler these things out and then tap and die it and all that fun stuff. So that's what he's gonna work on while I'm over there cleaning some more shit up and fucking around.
And I only get one shot. Fuck it up, then we're really screwed.
Yeah. That's a very fair point. So, don't fuck it up.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck to you, bud. So we're just gonna go over here and not drop stuff off. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and work on cleaning some stuff up together and get the relay module started on this side of town here. Other than that, we'll be right back as soon as we get going on that. Alrighty guys, so we got all the turn signals hooked up. We're still waiting on the fronts. We do have all the buttons working and everything else. But these things are pretty rad. I kind of dig them. Let me, if I shut the lights off, you guys will be able to see them a little better. Yeah, these lights are kind of pretty nice actually. I like them.
Decent little brake lights on them.
Yeah. And give her a left and a right.
Got left.
Yeah.
Got right.
I kind of dig them. They're pretty bare back here though. It's going to be kind of weird riding at night. And then we got the license plate mount hooked up here. Is where he wants it. We're waiting on a fender. We're waiting on the front turn signals themselves. And a clutch master, brake master, and grips. Other than that, the bike's damn near ready to be put back together so he can take this thing on the trip with us here in a month or so.
Yeah.
This thing will be damn near ready to go, and he's going to end up riding it with us a few hundred miles just on a nice little jump and see how it goes and make sure it doesn't break down too bad on the way. But, you know, that's a story for another day. So, yeah, for right now, this is what we got. I hope you guys are enjoying this build progress so far, and I'll see you guys again next time.
Until next time.